Hi everyone, and welcome to this, the first edition of our online storytelling from Claddagh National School with me, Mr. Leonard. I'd like to welcome all the boys and girls from the Claddagh National School and beyond. Everyone is welcome to join in and listen to our stories. So if you want to spread the word, please do share this video. Today we're going to start with one of my favourite picture books, and this is a cracker. It's great fun altogether. It's called Sir Scallywag and the Golden Underpants, and it's written by Giles Andrea and Corky Paul. This really is a great book, and I have an awful lot of fun whenever I read it to my kids. You can see there on the front there is a horse, and on the horse's back is a knight in his armour. Who do you think that knight might be? Do you think it might be Sir Scallywag? I think it might. What kind of a shield has he got? Do you see what he's got on his shield? It's a teddy bear, isn't it? That's a funny kind of a shield. But it gets funnier than that again. Look at his big long lance. And do you see what is hanging at the top of his lance? It is a pair of golden underpants. My, my, my. Why do you think he has a pair of underpants on the end of his lance? Well, we'll have to read the book to find out. So away we go. Sir Scallywag and the Golden Underpants. Long ago there lived a king of majesty and fame, the mighty King of England, and King Colin was his name. King Colin wasn't clever and King Colin wasn't bold, but what made King Colin special were his underpants of gold. That's right, the underpants that we saw on the front cover, do you remember? We know who they belong to now, don't we? It was the King of England. Can you remember his name? King Colin. I'll show you his picture here. Can you see the picture there? That's King Colin up the top of the page there. And there you see his underpants. So let's read on and see what happens. Now, one night while the king and queen were sleeping in their bed, a giant stole these underpants and put them on his head. Here he is. Have a look at the giant making off with the underpants. Oh my. Wait till we go on and see what happened next. Next morning, when King Colin went to put his tunic on, he stared down at the floor and cried, "My underpants, they're gone! They're my underpants of glory, my underpants of power. My breakfast will be ruined if they're not back within this hour." Do you want to see King Colin looking for his underpants? You better be ready for this picture now. It's a bit of a naughty one. Do you see King Colin looking for his underpants? And do you see his naked bum? Oh, and his poor wife, the Queen, looking at him. I have a bit of an audience. I'm trying to keep them quiet at the moment. We'll see how they do. "Go, send out for my bravest knight," he bellowed down the hall. And so they fetched Sir Scallywag, the bravest knight of all. Sir Scallywag was mighty and Sir Scallywag was bold. It didn't seem to matter. He was only 6 years old. "What is it I can do for you, O mighty king?" he cried. "Retrieve my golden underpants," the trembling king replied. "I'm lost without my underpants of gold, and besides, it's rather draughty, and my bottom's getting cold." "Your wish is my command, O king," Sir Scallywag declared. "I promise on my life the royal bottom won't be bared." Now, we'll get to see Sir Scallywag arriving now for the first time to see the king. There he is. And there is the king, still running around the castle with his bottom hanging out. Look at the poor cat. Honestly. On we go. He whistled for his trusty steed, who cantered to his side. "Come, Doofus," said Sir Scallywag, "we're going for a ride." They galloped over mountains and they rode through forests green. But alas, the golden underpants were nowhere to be seen. "Disaster!" cried Sir Scallywag. "What will King Colin do? He'll probably chop my head off and then flush it down the loo." And Sir Scallywag used his imagination to imagine what it would be like if King Colin chopped his head off and flushed it down the toilet. Wait until you see this picture. And there is King Colin flushing poor Sir Scallywag's head all the way down the toilet. But that's only in his imagination. It hasn't happened yet, really. And we hope it won't. So let's see what does really happen. So he rode back to the castle in a state of dread and fear. But just then, on the horizon, something started to appear. A giant on a jet-black horse came riding brave and bold, and there, upon his helmet, shone the underpants of gold. Will I show you? I think you'd like to see the giant with the underpants on his helmet, would you? Here we are. Look at that. Here he comes. Okay, let's see what the giant does. "I've come to take this kingdom," the wicked giant said, "and no one can defeat me with these pants upon my head. And when I've beaten every knight, which won't take too much time, I'm going to storm the castle, and this land will all be mine." "Oh, will it?" cried Sir Scallywag. "Well, let's just wait and see, for you won't defeat this kingdom without first defeating me." Sir Scallywag is very brave, isn't he? He's only a little boy, and he's going up against a big, huge giant on a big black horse. Well, what did the giant think of this little boy telling him that he'd have to defeat him? The giant roared with laughter. "But you're just a little boy. I could kill you in an instant. I could break you like a toy." "Just try it," said Sir Scallywag, while lowering his lance. "Let's show him what we're made of. Come on, Doofus boy, advance!" Do you remember who Doofus was?
Horse.
It was his horse, that's right. I have one little girl over here who's listening very well to the story. I hope you are too. Will we have a look at Doofus and Sir Scallywag getting ready to charge with his lance lowered, what they used to call full tilt? Here we go. There he is getting ready to go, and there is the giant laughing his head off at poor little Scallywag. Well, it's getting very exciting now, isn't it? Let's see what happens next. The giant started galloping and bellowed out with glee. "I'm going to slice you up, young knight, and toast you for my tea." "Oh, crikey," gulped Sir Scallywag. "Quick, think, I need a plan. However can I overcome this stinkpot of a man? My lance won't even reach him on that giant jet-black horse." "My lance?" He stopped, then smiled and said, "My lance! My lance! Of course!" What's he going to do with his lance, I wonder? Well, shush. We have to be very quiet in this room here. We can't spoil the story for the boys and girls who are listening, can we? So, let's have a look at them getting ready to go into battle. Here's the giant on his big black horse with his lance. And here's Sir Scallywag getting ready to do something with his lance. Well, he's not going to poke the giant with it, is he? Because he's too low down. Wait until we see what he does. Are you ready? What do you think he's going to do? Wait until we see. Oh my. Then suddenly, amidst the crowd, there came a creaking sound. Sir Scallywag had thrust his lance tip deep into the ground, and all the king and queen could do was raise their heads and stare as Sir Scallywag was catapulted high into the air. He used his lance as a pole vault. Look at that. Boing! And he flew right up into the air. Ho! What's going to happen next? He soared above the giant. "Now take this, you oaf," he said, and he smashed his armoured bottom hard against the giant's head. The giant tumbled from his horse, and off his helmet rolled. He scrabbled through the dirt to grab the underpants of gold. Well, if he can get his hands on them, I'm afraid it's all over for Sir Scallywag. Look at this, he's just about to grab the underpants. But what's this we see coming here? Do you know what that is? I think maybe you do. It looks an awful lot like the tip of Sir Scallywag's lance to me. What do you think he's going to do with it? Do you want to find out? Let's read on. Sir Scallywag, he got there first and shouted through the cheers, "Just leave them there, you numpty, or I'll chop off both your ears!" Sir Scallywag then raised the pants to show that he had won. They glittered and they sparkled in the brilliant evening sun. Would you like to see them? Look at that. He has got them on the end of his lance and everyone is so excited. Do you think the king is happy that his underpants are back? I'd say he feels very, very excited and relieved. "Oh no!" the giant sobbed and wailed. "I'm scared, I want my mum." And crying like a baby, he began to suck his thumb. Look at the giant sucking his thumb down there. He's a big baby without the magic underpants, isn't he? "Oh, thank you, brave Sir Scallywag," rejoiced the king and queen. "You're the bravest little fellow that this kingdom's ever seen. No other knight we've ever known has shown such splendid form." Then the king sat down for breakfast, and his eggs were still just warm. So boys and girls, remember this. Although you may be small, have courage and you too can be the bravest knight of all.